Hey, good afternoon. It's Rebecca. So we are actually here on week 3 of 6 weeks of a series that I launched a couple of weeks ago called Alignment to You. And today we are actually talking about employing what I call a you first strategy. As many of you know, I am a consultant for a living. I have a company and we support various entities and agencies across about 9 different states. And one of the things that we always do in consulting is we are very mindful to stop and take a pause and evaluate and look at things from what I call a big picture perspective. And so I've applied that big picture thinking to my own personal life because I think it's important in life as we walk through this journey that we just don't continue forward without taking a pause at times and really evaluating those things most important to us. For this particular series, I've called it Alignment to You, and we have been talking for this is our 3rd week, about how to get into alignment with who God created us to be. And if you missed the first 2 weeks that we did last week and the week before, you can watch them either on my website at rebeccacontreras.com or on YouTube by Googling Rebecca Contreras, and you'll see the various videos there, Alignment to You. And so today I want to focus on employing a you first strategy. And so there are 5 things that you need to know about how to employ a you first strategy. Number 1, you have to understand and come into deep understanding that you matter. You matter to God. You matter to you and those in your life, those that depend on you. Many of us, especially if you are like me and you're a mom, you're a wife, you're a grandmother, you're a CEO, you own a company, you work in a company, you're in community, all the different things that you might be involved in, you matter. And when we go down, things get impacted negatively around us. So it's so important for you to understand that being the best you and investing in you is an important, critical strategy that you should be employing in your daily life. Last week, I shared about identity, and we talked about aligning to identity, and I talked about the importance of having identity and walking in identity and understanding identity and who we were created to be. And I encourage you to watch that identity series. But you do matter, so that's number 1. No matter what you may think or what may others think, you do matter. Number 2, there's only one you. Once you're gone and once you're burnt out, there is no other you. There is no other Rebecca. I was created uniquely to be Rebecca, and nobody can walk in my shoes. And so when God formed you, he knew what he was doing. And when he put you in the lives of the people that you're involved in, he knew what he was doing. And he did with such great creativity in mind in creating you and in fashioning you, and all the various things that have shaped your life and your future are available to you to understand and why they're important. So there's only one you. Number 3, truly learning to love yourself and care for yourself takes what I call very distinct discipline. It's discipline to learn to love yourself. It's hard work. It takes focus. It takes time. It takes calendaring. It takes organizing, because we can get caught up in life and things can overcome us as we go through and navigate the complexities of this journey called life. And it truly takes that discipline and that focus to take care of yourself in all aspects of what that means. Number 4, no one is going to love you like you love you. I know that we have great people that love us in our life, but I have found that if I don't love myself and learn to love Rebecca, I'm not gonna have anybody else love me the way I can love myself. Certainly there are people around me that do care for me and love me, but I am the only one responsible for Rebecca. And when I leave this planet and stand before my creator, there's only one person that's going to be accountable for me, and that's me. And the last, number 5, when we love ourselves, it fuels our capacity to love others in our life. Loving others, especially those that are difficult to love, tends to drain us. It tends to drain our love tank. And we all have loved ones in our life that are difficult to love. And I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who's dealing with grappling with some challenges around her kids and her adult kids, and how difficult it is for her because she's finding they're making poor choices and they're kind of going a little cray-cray, and she's finding it very difficult to mother in that adultness, and it's affecting her ability to really look at herself in the way that remembers that she is loved, but also pour out that love during the difficult times. And so I find that my capacity to endure and love others that may be unlovable at times really is distinctly connected to my capacity to love myself and to embrace all the unconditional love that God provides us. I call it the agape love. We can only have agape love, that unconditional love that comes through a supernatural God capacity to employ loving yourself, loving God, and then being able to pour that out to love others. So those are the 5 essentials that you need to know about this You First strategy. So when you employ a You First strategy, what does that look like? From a day-to-day standpoint, how do you carry it out? I will share with you what I do in my own life and in my own journey, and what that looks like for Rebecca on a daily basis. And I do find that distinct honing in on that daily discipline and being aware and being having an awareness for focus and being able to carry it out on a daily basis is important. So here's what it looks like for me. There are 3 things that I do on a daily basis, a weekly basis. Number 1, it's my focus on my physical, my emotional, and my spiritual health. This makes up Rebecca, my physical, my emotional, and my spiritual health. And it's that daily discipline to care for me and myself. What does this look like? For me, it's about employing a daily routine of exercise, whatever kind of exercise you can do. Maybe it's walking, taking a break during lunch and getting up and walking, down the block, or maybe it's taking the stairs instead of taking the elevator. Maybe it's working out like I do. I work out 4 or 5 times a week. But that daily exercise, also employing a daily discipline for worship and journaling and prayer, and I call it the quiet time that fuels me. It is the only thing that fuels me in the morning. When I get up and I feel like I haven't slept well, and I'm tired, I find that when I get into that quiet space and get into that time of worship, for me, it's about doing it outdoors. I have a patio. I sit out on my patio. I drink my coffee. I get my journal, and I turn my worship music on, and I just look at nature and take all in that God has for me in that morning. And maybe it's only 10 minutes. Some days it's longer. I usually like to go for about 45 minutes, but when I don't have that length of time, 10 minutes will do, 5 minutes will do, just that recalibration of time on daily meditation and journaling. Making good choices in your life. Every day I have to open that fridge, and I look in that fridge, and I deliberately make a choice to make good, healthy choices in how I fuel my body. It's what goes into my body that builds a healthy Rebecca. And I heard somebody say many, many years ago, you are what you eat, and that is so true. You have to take care of your body, your temple, and give it the fuel that it needs, the important healthy fuel that it needs. For me, that involves drinking lots of water. I drink about 100 ounces of water a day, sometimes more. I carry my container with me and I fill it up 3 times a day, and I know that when I have that container empty, it's time to fill it up. So water cleanses your body. It detoxifies your system, and there's so many great benefits to drinking water. And if you don't like water, then buy one of those little flavor mixes and put a flavor mix in it. I happen to like the taste of water. I think it's delicious, and we have a filtration system that I run my water through, and it makes it nice and clean. And so, but if you don't have that, buy a Brita, or buy a little pack of flavor and put some in your water, but drink lots of water. Recently, I moved, about 6 months ago, I moved to plant-based eating about 4 or 5 days a week, with the focus on eating anything that grows out of the ground. That's what I eat. And I get creative and put lots of good fuel in my body. Listen, what goes into your body will come out. And sometimes it comes out with, disease. Sometimes it comes out with obesity. Sometimes it manifests in different ways, in terms of just feeling lethargic and groggy because maybe you didn't have the right fuel for your body and your brain. You got to feed your body, you got to feed your brain. And it's 80% diet, 20% exercise. So number one, focus on physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Number two, I'm very careful to choose who I do life with. Listen, we need to embrace doing life with those that are life-giving. And that for me has involved a very tough analysis of who I surround myself with and who I've been around. Sometimes it's making those tough decisions to eliminate toxicity in your life and eliminate those toxic relationships that really, really hurt us in our life, and choose life-giving friendships. Choose healthy, strong relationships. I want to be around those who celebrate my success and who encourage me in my success and make me want to be a better person. And oftentimes I surround myself with people that I know are going places and have their life, calibrated, and I aspire to be like and grow from. And it's important to have those circle of friends around you that will do life with you, that will encourage you and celebrate you life. Get rid of the critical, toxic people who all they want to do is judge and criticize, and the jealous factor and all the things that sometimes ruin relationships. And so I know that it's important for me. It's about making those careful life choices of who I'm going to choose to do life with. I call it elevate your relationships. Elevate your relationships. Get into a place in a groove where you choose those healthy relationships. And if you have people in your life right now that are involved on a daily basis or weekly basis that are not playing that elevation, encouragement role, then maybe, slowly by surely distance yourself, and you can still love loved ones that are not necessarily healthy, but don't keep them in your inner circle, and make sure that they're healthy. And if you do have a situation with a loved one who you're working with and trying to bring around to be more healthy, then get into counseling and get into a place where both of you can get help together and recalibrate in your life with those healthy relationships. If you're like me, you enjoy helping people and you enjoy looking at the best in someone before you see the worst in them. It's that unconditional lens that I employ at times to look at the good in people and to try to see the good in people. And 1 Peter 4:8 tells us, above all, love each other, because love covers a multitude of sins. And that is so true. But I would ask you to not do it at the risk of losing yourself, and not do it at the risk of getting that unhealthy balance in those relationships that are not healthy for you. The balance is love and forgiveness, yes, but it's also ensuring that you're not enabling dysfunction that is not healthy for you long-term or your family. So it's again, we're talking about employing a you first strategy to put you first. And lastly, number 3 is learning to find your voice. This is one of my favorites. Learn to find your voice in every situation so that what you have to say matters, and you believe that what you have to say matters. Never shrink back to lose your voice. And if you have, and evaluate, have I really lost my voice? Have I put myself in a position to really deeply allow others to steal my voice? Then find a way back to your voice. Your voice matters. You were uniquely created to have a role to play in life and to have a voice. There are 5 tips that I have on finding your voice. Number 1, learn to hear yourself, and learn more about finding yourself and what that looks like. You have to learn to hear yourself, and you recognize that voice, that encourages you and that makes you want to be a better person. Number 2, find the truth in you. Be true to yourself always. Always be true to yourself. We have great intuition. It's given to us by God. Use that intuition to be true of yourself. Number 3, get clarity and find clarity. Get clear about what you believe and what you believe in life, as well as what you expect others to believe, and get clarity in life about yourself. It's so important to be clear about ourselves and looking at that. And number 4, remove the noise. We're talking about employing a you first strategy to get healthy with you and put you first. Number 4, remove the noise. Listen, there is so much noise out there in life, in this world. There's noise all the time, everywhere we turn. It's so important to recalibrate and get rid of that noise in our daily walk, in our daily life. We can't control all the chaos in the world, but we can control that 4 feet of space around us, our home environment, the place where we worship, the community that we're involved in, our relationships, and get rid of the noise. Don't just drown it out, okay? Because drowning the noise out means you're doing this, la, 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 I don't hear it. But get rid of the noise where you can and where you can bring influence. Get rid of the noise. And lastly, use your voice. So 5 tips on finding your voice. Learn to hear yourself. Find the truth in you. Find clarity. Remove the noise. And lastly, use your voice for good. Don't shy away from speaking truth. Speak up, because what you say matters in life. It matters to those around you and those who love you. And it matters to those that you're impacting and influencing. So Isaiah 58:1 says, speak aloud and lift your voice. You lift your voice like a trumpet. It's so important to use your voice for good. So today we've been talking about employing a you first strategy. I hope you enjoyed today's session. If you did enjoy it, share it out, and join me next Tuesday as we cover topic week 4 of alignment to you, only here on my Facebook Live page. Have a great day.